Hello everyone, welcome, and thank you for being here. So today I want to show my Excalibur. So basically my Excalibur build today is an answer for a problem that I had personally, which is surviving on steel path levels. To be honest, this is not a perfect build. It got some flaws here and there, but this is the best result I got personally, and I really find it as a very fun way to play Excalibur. Because to be honest with you, everyone likes to enjoy playing Solid Blade. So I had an issues with survivabilities and everything that comes around it, but also I want to make sure that I'm hitting like a truck. So I decided to add a gloom, if you notice for here. Sorry. And the problem is with the gloom that I had as well is when I always use it, it always drains all of my energy pretty quick. So I kept the radius, as balanced as possible. And if you notice, my range is actually just 100%. Of course, I supported my build with those crystals, shards, whatever you want to call them. And let's jump to the appearance. So basically, this is what I'm using. This is the colors and site and data and attachments. So that should give you enough time to look at it. You can pause the video when you feel like it. Now let's look at the build. Now I wanted to actually support my melee attack as much as I can, so I went with this mod over here. Also, I went with this one, Exalted one, to actually get all that status chance and also getting that stats effects over there. So I went with this build. It helps me survive, and this is an actual optional mod. You can change it with whatever you feel like, but I felt like this is the right thing to do for me personally. I changed it with other work perfectly as well. You can do it also as well with very similar build. You can do it with Terrify, but I felt like with the Gloom, I'm like a little bit more tankier, and I don't have to keep like recasting my abilities to strip armor and to get the enemies slow as much as I can. But this is my Terrify build, almost the same, just change that mod with Creeping Terrify, which is beautiful, does a lot during the Steel Path missions, but I personally prefer this one. You can try that build as well, modify on it and modify on this build and see what you can get. The other thing I would recommend, any weapons that inflict stats like Cedo that I need to level up with Epitaph, very good option as well, to get those status effects. And the more we want, as many as we can, of course. Now for the Exalted Blade, of course, if you notice, I used heat, and I have viral there as well, and of course I have the SFX from my epitaph. That's gonna add the equation, because in the end of the day you're looking at damage from those two mods and this one specifically. So this one's really good. So the Condition Overload is a very good mod to use. So this is the first thing that I want to show. I want to show, like, take it for a run, try it for a solo 5 minutes on survival, and see what we can do. And from there, I want to show you how I play Excalibur. It doesn't have to be your way, but it's just my humble opinion about kind of things and how I do things, to be honest with you. So we jump here. Let's disturb those guys. Ring the bell and run, I guess. And that's the build for me. Initially I started it because I was trying to resolve an issue, which is surviving, to be honest, because I always had issues surviving with Excalibur and Steel Path. Now maybe others didn't have different ways of using the Warframe, different builds, but it gets the job done for me on personal level. Now the reason why I'm using my javelins to boost my melee attacks, and of course, weapon, nice, of course, to actually inflict them with status effects, boost my Condition Overload. And if you notice, I'm cutting through them like they were never been here. So that's pretty cool. And also when they shoot me, they're giving me more energy so I can kill them. And let's see what we can do from there. Now, by the way, for the optional mod, I'm thinking about it. I think I should change that, but I'm still thinking about what mod should I use. I don't want to increase the range because I don't worry that that's gonna actually drain my energy pretty fast. I want to make sure that things are balanced. But talking about energy, you know, this it's not dropping that. It's not like this build so far. It's not dropping my energy way too down. And if you know this, if you follow the sequence correctly, you're doing more than enough damage to get the job done. So that's the first thing you can do. You know, you have like around 15 minutes, you know, duration on that ability. Javelin special, you know, or augmented mod. If you notice, I almost lost some energy. I envied myself. Usually that does not happen a lot, but hey, it's an embarrassing moment now. But it's a possibility and good to see it here, rather than you trying it and tell me, ah, you deceived me. So yeah, no, but you can regain your energy pretty quick. And I'm using Arcane Energize to get much energy as possible. Of course, Vor's talking over me. That's pretty rude. But if you notice, this effect is pretty awesome. There was a Vor, and that Vor is gone. Don't worry guys, I'm not running away, I'm simply getting myself an oxygen canister, maybe, I don't know what they call them. Well, life support, wow. I'm like in the middle of all of them, and look how, like, they're not surviving much, to be honest with you. And the gloom effect is pretty nice, it's doing really nice crowd control. And it's keeping me staying alive. Life support incoming. Just in case if someone's gonna one-shot me, you know, I have a mod that will help me with that. It's gonna drain my energy, but it's gonna give me enough time to run away and recover. But so far we're not having any complications. Let's increase our, wow, 748 melee damage. This is amazing. And if you know this, I'm just slashing. And remember, I'm playing solo, like that's something usually I don't do. Believe it or not, I actually have friends that I play with, but obviously we're getting the job done, and that's that. Now the next test that we have to take care of is actually the Acolyte. Now if we can survive the Acolyte, and we can of course, but you know, just want to show it here. Because I used this build before and it's pretty effective. And that was it, you know. Use your melee damage, shoot them with the epitaph, or any weapons that increase, you know, do status effects, and that should get the job done, and the poor Acolyte is dead. And that was it. As against enemies of Steel Path against the Acolytes, against 4, and obviously the build is doing wonders. Now, like I said, there's an optional mod there that I'm not really sure about, but obviously it's not doing a bad job as well. But I'm gonna go ahead, there's a chance that I'm gonna change it and see what I can improve my build on, see what is fit there. I'm still a little bit indecisive on that one, but obviously if you noticed, under great pressure, under a situation where there's a lot of enemies around you, you're able to handle yourself, survive, and actually hit like a truck, like you noticed. And it's pretty fun build. Now there is a certain point, just as a disclaimer, that you might get where the enemies, even with all the defenses that you have, they might one-shot you. But for, let's say, the early Steel Path missions, you know, if you're doing like a survival for 20 to 30 minutes, I think this one should do, because I did 20 minutes with it before and it was pretty nice to do it, and I did it solo. But like I said, if you do it with others, also that would be a very helpful factor, and most likely you're gonna play this games with others. Now I showed everything that I can show. Hopefully that was helpful, and thank you for taking the time to look into this. Thank you so much, and I really hope you have a good one. Stay safe.